This is Justin Popovic here again with my buddy, Brad Gosse. How you doing?
I'm great.
If you look on the board behind us, you see we've got an interesting topic today. I centered it very nicely, as you can tell. Workaholics. Workaholics Anonymous is this video. We want to talk to you guys about, and if a lot of you out there watching right now are entrepreneurs, we know you are because we've seen your comments. We want to talk about this disease, if you want to call it that. A lot of us suffer from it, and Brad and I are just having a pretty in-depth discussion about how we find ourselves working a lot more often than we probably need to, and we're trying to cut back from that. I know I want to tell a couple of my stories, but Brad, you have some interesting things to say. You're reading a book recently that really got this discussion going, so why don't you start off with that and we'll get into it.
Sure. Well, like anybody, I catch myself working sometimes just for the sake of working, because mentally I have this feeling like I need to fill time with work. And so sometimes I'll actually catch myself repeatedly checking mail or repeatedly doing something that isn't really going to get me anywhere productively. So I spend, I wouldn't say a good percentage of my time, but I do catch myself working for the sake of working. You know, where maybe I've got nothing else to do, and so I'll just head down to my office and sit in front of my computer and not really create anything or do anything productive. And
busy work.
Yeah, busy work, which is useless work, right? It's like when I actually follow my own schedule, which is to check my mail 3 times a week, Monday morning, Wednesday morning, Friday morning, in 2 hours I can clear up all my mail and be very productive, and then not look at my mail again, and it allows me a lot more freedom. And when I don't follow that, I check my mail constantly, and every time an email comes in, I stop everything and I deal with it, and I'm actually not very productive during this time.
It's brutal.
And so I'm reading this book called Linchpin by Seth Godin. Highly recommend the book for anybody who's watching this. And what came up in this book that I thought was really interesting is that he talks about how entrepreneurs actually operate on what Seth calls bursts of brilliance. And this really stuck with me because I noticed that some of my I've made absolute fortunes off of an hour of work, or 2 hours of work, or 3 hours of work that I did on pure energy. The idea hit me and I dropped everything, and you know, I've created products, you know, in an hour with my laptop in my car with a microphone, you know, that have made me an absolute fortune that I did in that small burst of brilliance. And then I find myself spending 4 hours doing absolutely nothing in front of the computer that I shouldn't really even be in front of the computer for that time. For some reason I've forced myself to do that.
And for you it gets extended because you have a smartphone. So then you can sit there and get a buzz saying someone else has come up, and it's constantly doing busy work. For me, what happens is kind of like the email thing, and I really want to embrace your system of checking email less frequently, because when I have a big inbox, I can get through it fast. But I find, and people watching probably get this too, I watch my inbox, I'm sitting there going, what the heck am I doing? I could be reading a book or going outside or spending time with my family or whatever. It's just busy work. And I think what it comes down to is, as entrepreneurs, we all have the next big dream or big goal that we're working on, and some of us have already hit them and we're trying to go to new ones, and other people are just getting started. They're just trying to get that first prize, that first thing they're trying to win, and I get almost like a panic sensation if I'm not working constantly. So I'm there and I'm sitting on the couch just trying to relax, calm my mind for 5 minutes, and this subconscious panic feeling kicks in. I got to go back to my laptop and work again. And I did not become an entrepreneur to work all the time. I became an entrepreneur to take bursts of brilliance, ideas, create things that I love doing, and provide value and hopefully make a profit on those things. So how can we all, I guess the question is, how can we not become workaholics or avoid becoming workaholics? Or if we are, how do we get out of that and embrace these bursts of brilliance? I need to work on it myself. I know you have some good strategies too.
Well, I've been working on it quite consciously for the last couple of weeks, where I've really been trying to embrace these bursts of brilliance. And you know, if you're watching this, I don't want you to think that I'm being an egotist and saying that I'm brilliant. I'm saying that,
oh yes,
you know, when I say bursts of brilliance, I mean we all have these times where great ideas come to us, or great inspiration comes to us, and we need to harness it and jump on it. And so what I've been doing is I've actually caught myself not working as much, and it's a conscious decision, and it's been a difficult one to make. But when I do make the decision, I stop working. Maybe I'll go upstairs and I'll read, or I'll play with my dogs, or I'll spend some time with my wife, or we'll go out and we'll do something. And then when an idea strikes, I'll make a note on my phone, or I'll remember it, and then I'll come home and I'll embrace that burst of brilliance. I'll spend an hour on the computer, and then I'll get away from it.
Yeah.
And I find that now I might be working. Well, right now I'm actually working 8 hours a day because I'm creating a product, which is consuming a ton of my time, so I'm actually working, but it's a lot of grunt work. But I'm still finding that I'm embracing bursts of brilliance when the time comes. If an idea strikes, I'll put that stuff aside and I'll register a domain, or I'll start something, and even if it's just to start the ball rolling and then walk away from it, so that I know that I won't forget about it later. I'll register a domain if I think of a good idea, or I'll commission something to be made for me, a product to be created or something by an outsourcer, so that I know the wheels are turning, somebody's doing something for me while I'm reading my book.
There you go. So this video isn't necessarily a solution to the problem of being workaholic, it's more to raise the awareness. Brad's got some good strategies, but we wanted to bring it to your attention because you may be a workaholic yourself. Maybe it's time to catch yourself in that mode, get out of it, and figure out ways that you can enjoy a little bit more of your life and be more productive at the same time.